Hey everybody, thanks a lot for joining me on my latest YouTube vertical live. That's part of my series All Things Gaming. And thank you so much that for all of you who are going to watch this in the future as a clip. So, first of all, you have to watch Operation Sunburst. There's no other way around it. It's a new fan-made film, or animated film better said, that is set in the Fallout universe. And I just recently came across it. It came out maybe a week ago or even less, and I was completely blown away by it. Hey man, thanks a lot for joining me. Hello to you too as well. Thanks for being a part of this broadcast. Hopefully you'll like the content. I came across Operation Sunburst on YouTube. It was just a recommended video and I checked it out for a few minutes. I saw that it lasts for 47 minutes, so nearly 50 minutes of runtime. It's a feature-length animated film and I just started watching. Hey Danilo, great to see you. Thanks a lot for joining. Hopefully you find this live broadcast, fun and interesting. So thanks for being here. Few minutes into Operation Sunburst, I'm checking it out and I'm slowly but surely realizing it's amazing. It truly and really is incredible to watch. Its quality, its content, its approach and atmosphere, it's all there. So I have a question. I have a question about Fortnite Creative. Please do state it. I'll hope I can answer it at the end of the broadcast, but do write it down and I'll try to kind of get to it at the end. Danilo says it is a cool fan film. Yes, it's really cool. It's so cool actually that it's probably the best thing that happened in terms of fan fiction to Fallout universe so far. And there were so many things that were very good when it comes to kind of the community engagement and community creation from the Fallout community, being that it's so big. The game's been, or the series has been around since the early 2000s or the late 1990s. And this film, in my view, is above and beyond everything we saw so far. So what's the content basically? It's a showdown between the Brotherhood of Steel, more precisely its Mojave chapter, and the NCR, or the New California Republic. It takes down, or takes part, it is happening on a location of a Sunburst solar plant, which is occupied by the Brotherhood of Steel chapter, who is more than aware, whose leaders, military leaders, the Knights and the Paladins, are more than aware that they can hold out against the assembling NCR troops. However, their elder is insisting that they stay and keep those positions no matter what. From there on, the story unravels completely spontaneously and in such an impressive manner that I was really completely amazed by it. I started watching and I ended watching the whole thing in one sitting. So 50 minutes basically of feature-length film, and it has everything. So if you're a Fallout fan, you need to check it out. Why? Well, first of all, it has some amazing writing because the setup is so clear and so crisp in terms of being basically military sci-fi, but still present in the Fallout universe. So the overall dialogues, the ideas from both sides are completely logical. They are following the lore, they're following the canon. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in a manner that is expected or could be expected or could be seen in the Fallout domain. Secondly, the details. The whole animated film is so detailed about everything inside of it, from the uniforms of the NCR and the power armors of the Brotherhood to the very minute points about the weapons they're using and how they're trying to kind of go over and above the enemies, both in terms of NCR and Brotherhood of Steel, and how these reflect themselves on the battle with the characters who are basically on the field, on the battlefield. Everything is there. So the biggest expression, of course, and the part of the Operation Sunburst lore is its place in the series, more precisely in Fallout New Vegas game, which is one of my top games of all time, my absolute favorite RPG, and yeah, one of the best games I ever played. It's happening just before the events in the game, the New Vegas game, and it fits completely and perfectly into that narrative, even though it was never shown in the game itself. The game only references it as part of the wider struggle for the Mojave and also the New Vegas territory, which then takes place in the game and involves Caesar's legions, other factions as well, but in this case it's all about the Brotherhood of Steel versus the NCR. Now, I always had a huge interest in NCR in particular as a faction because I find it very realistic, first of all, and thus very believable in terms of how would a society like that look in a completely desolate nuclear wasteland. And NCR kind of had it right, and here we see also the dark side of the NCR. We already had that for the Brotherhood. They always had that idea of being kind of possibly potentially the bad guys. In this case, we have the same kind of perspective about the NCR and its desire and need to kind of get the victory no matter what the cost. Of course, the enemies are completely relevant to the NCR, but it looks like their troops are also kind of dispendable and they're willing to sacrifice them over and over to get actually to the possession of the same plant. Danilo says, yes, dialogues are good. Awesome to see that you agree. And you say we all hate the NCR. Not sure why, but please do elaborate. And here we again see that even NCR is more than capable of these basically human wave attacks that are destined to be kind of annihilated, but still they're pushing, even though they all, the commanders or those who are making the shots, believe that they are quote unquote fighting for the right side. And the cause that they're fighting for is just. And ultimately, it is, because unlike the Brotherhood of Steel, which is basically a technocratic, feudal kind of sect, NCR is the closest to something we kind of perceive today as a just modern democratic society to a point. But still, on the battlefield, they have those shock troops who are more or less suicidal, who even use, if I'm not mistaken, it's psycho, it's the kind of substance in the games or in the Fallout universe that kind of takes the fear, and they're basically like charging into the ranks of the paladins who are clearly more than ready to kill them all. So details like that really come into play and really breathe a lot of life into the animation itself, which is lastly really good as well. Sodas, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I think Sodas is the creator and the main person behind this kind of initiative. There are others, voice actors, I'm certain that other kind of animators and artists were included. And yes, to have 50 minutes of content, you have to have kind of a smart way of going about it. So there's a lot of, for example, paladins walking through the scenes and stuff like that. But still, the action itself is amazing, especially having in mind so many different details that are being used in the combat scenes, from hand-to-hand fighting to rockets to mortars to a range of sniper rifles that the NCR is kind of employing. All of that gets it shot. Even the shock troops of the NCR that have a limited amount of armor and basically are charging with a hatchet or kind of a tomahawk and a single pistol, they also kind of have this completely natural, completely in tune vibe with the wider universe of the Fallout space. Danilo asks, what's your favorite game ever? I don't have a favorite game ever. I have several that I really like, including the New Vegas title that I mentioned. I really like many strategies, including Civilization 2, but the list is pretty substantial, so I wouldn't be able to choose a single title that I would kind of define as a go-to game. Another comment, I'm gonna go for 15 minutes. So yeah, it's going to be less than this. I'm going to end it. So let's see. Your question was, how do I make it where guards are on my team without hiring them follow me and sprint? You just need to say place them on the same team as yourself, and they will kind of fight your enemies, whoever the enemies are. To make them follow you, you can use the option of hiring them, but it's simply enough to place the player spawners or the guard spawners to the same team as yourself, and they will be immediately on your side, quote unquote. So that's going to cover the same thing for your island. Hopefully that will make sense to you. And I just got the change of lighting here. So yeah, hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I see that the current number of viewers just jumped. We're talking about Operation Sunburst, the latest and the greatest film in the Fallout universe. So if you watched it, if you have any ideas about it, I would love to hear it. Thanks so much. I didn't know that. Yeah, so simply place the guards in the guard spawner to the same team that you are, and they will be immediately your allies. Thanks for the question. Hopefully it made sense. Where can you watch Operation Sunburst? Well, it's free on YouTube and it's available there, so you can check it out immediately. I'm going to leave a link in the description once I finish this live update or live broadcast, and you should check it out. If you like Fallout, you're going to love this. I mean, there's no chance in hell that you watch this and say, yeah, it's okay. You will be amazed or beyond amazed. I can only imagine those two alternatives. On the other hand, if you don't like or never played Fallout and you like military science fiction, like the genre, you'll love it as well, because the action is really well directed, the cuts are great, the action itself in the footage is very brutal, so there are limbs falling off and blood splattering, and has a lot of that gore feel to it, which again works really well with the broader domain of the Fallout franchise, which is also very brutal and kind of prone to those like super bloody, super violent moments from the first game. And this means that anyone who is in those categories, of either being a Fallout fan, a military sci-fi fan, or generally fan of well animated, well crafted films, you need to check this out, because Operation Sunburst is really something that you don't see often. And when you do see it, it's not something that you should kind of take for granted, because a lot of craftsmanship, a lot of effort, a lot of money, most likely, at least for voice actors and everyone who participated, went into this, and it really and truly shows. So do check it out, watch Operation Sunburst. The link is going to be in the description below. Enjoy it. If you like it, do what I did right here, share it with people who like Fallout or military sci-fi, because this film deserves to be seen. That's it for this broadcast. Thanks a lot for being here. It's a 13-minute and we're ending it slowly here. Thank you everyone in the comment sections for leaving your questions. Thanks to your likes, and thanks for your likes. Thanks for your presence. Have a great day everybody. Watch Operation Sunburst, and I'll see you on my next video. Until then, bye bye.